So they have many guidebooks mention that because the serpent there, this building was a hospital, but it wasn't. It was simply an extension of the basilica. It supported an extension of the basilica. You remember we on the basilica? It came all the way down over here. So it gets very hot here in summer months and can rain heavily as they experienced yesterday. During rain and heat, they could have large gatherings in that hall. What is the meaning of that base, that column? We can give other interpretations. The torch, the serpent, is not only a symbol of medicine, but it's also a symbol of wealth, because money was kept in caves where there are serpents. And there's a torch there. They raised torches when they made deals. Merchants, when they made deals, promises, they raised torches. There's also Fortuna there, who is the goddess who helped athletes, soldiers, but also merchants, fortune. And on the other side, there's Hermes. Hermes is the messenger god who was powerless himself, but he kept running back and forth between Zeus and the humans, relaying messages. The busiest of gods, he's constantly going back and forth. And when you, in those days, in the absence of institutions to enforce obligations, you had to rely on oaths. And when you made a deal, you asked Zeus to punish your partner if he cheated. But if you cheated yourself, you could again ask Hermes to ask Zeus to pardon you with the appropriate gifts. That's how ancient religion was, very amoral. Got nothing to do with morality. It's your personal wishes. So long as you could appease the gods through appropriate gifts and the right gods. They made requests from 10 gods, for example, and add a phrase and told other gods whose name I may not know of, who have an influence on this matter. Okay? And you could wish anything, good or bad. So Hermes is the messenger god who relayed those messages. And I think that block was an altar on which merchants took oaths. It ended up here after earthquakes as they were rebuilding the city on many occasions. Now, the wall behind you is the remnants of a temple of Domitian, an emperor's temple. And Domitian, the very evil emperor who banished John to Patmos, right? Right. And he was a true psychopath, one of the few who believed that he really was a god. All Roman emperors were deified, but they accepted this with a tongue in the cheek, sort of. But Domitian wanted even his own associates, his own family members, to worship him as a god. And he did strange things, like invite people for dinner. The dinner invitation would be worded like a funeral invitation. And the attendants would be served a meal, a funeral menu, under a funeral lantern, with a slave standing behind them, holding its blade, ready to slit their throat any moment. And you can imagine how much you'd hate the man if you survived such an ordeal. And no wonder he was deposed through a coup led by none other than his wife. Yeah. And he was
probably at the highest risk.
He was assassinated. His memory was condemned. Memoria damnatio, damned. Memory was damned, damnatio, and then his statues were broken, his names were erased. And this temple was rededicated to his successor, Trajan, who was a rather good emperor, you may recall, who stopped the persecution by ruling his governor to go to court with regard to complaints about Christians. Remember, we were at Trajan's temple. He succeeded him. This afternoon, at the museum, you are going to see a statue of Trajan. I mean, Domitian, or maybe his brother Titus. Domitian or Titus. Big head, big arm, possibly remnants of the cult statue standing here. Originally 30 feet long. As you walk